Happy Saturday morning. Today is March 26, 2022, and this is 413 Sports Talk, episode 301. Today we will discuss St. Peter's as they yet again take down another NCAA Titan and make history while doing so. Yesterday at the Basketball Hall of Fame, the 2022 Western Mass All-Star Experience took place at 5:30 p.m. Three of Coach Dion Bird's players performed well, and eventually the 1,000-point scorer in Travis Jordan earned MVP honors for his standout performance. Dion Bird Jr. and Ryan Mayfield Jr. played well and had fun at the game as they were participants. I want to again thank Jack Latendre for coming on the show yesterday. Had a great conversation. This dude's very athletic and is also taking on track as well. So a big shout out to Jack the quarterback, as he gets ready to try track and as he continues his success in his basketball and football stories. I really enjoyed our conversation, honestly. Other than that, I got all the scores from Friday night that was in the world of sports, and episode 301 starts now. St. Peter's University shocks the world and takes down number 3 Purdue Boilermakers 67-64, making history for a 15 seed. Shout out to my boy Jonathan Matlock, the semi-pro star. Me and him were talking yesterday about how we didn't really see this coming. And as I was filling out my bracket, I YouTubed them. And I didn't really get the feeling that they were going to do this. But lo and behold, they have. And shout outs to St. Peter's and their continued success. Number 1, South Carolina Lady Gamecocks take care of a good UNC Lady Tar Heels team, 69-61, and they move on as well. Aaliyah Boston in that game had 28 points and 22 fucking rebounds. Let that sink in. Deshaun Watson is introduced by the Cleveland Browns yesterday, and he proclaims his innocence, and that is showing as the lawsuits and stuff like that are starting to break down, and he is unable to be charged for the crimes in which he was accused. Shout out to Deshaun. Glad you're innocent, brother. Can't wait to see you play in Cleveland and what you're able to do out there. The number 10 Miami Hurricanes dancing into the Elite Eight, first time in program history, and they won a big game. We'll talk about that as we get into college basketball scores in a minute. Frank Vogel, quote, our record hurts, but LeBron James is still deserving of MVP. No comment there. E.J. Liddell to forego his senior season at Ohio State. This baller says he is ready for the NBA draft. E.J. Liddell is, in my eyes, going to go top 10. And as the weeks progress, I will have breakdowns of college players in the NBA side. And just to kind of get a gist of what we're going to look at as far as the NBA draft is concerned. Note there might be a Springfield baller drafted this year, so you might want to pay attention to the NBA draft if you never have before. Lionel Messi ponders future as team wins the World Cup qualifier against Argentina. He just says he doesn't know what he'll do after the World Cup. Lionel Messi is the number 1 soccer player in the galaxy, in the world right now, and I'm sure that's how he's going to want to retire. And finally, Creighton takes the world by storm. They dust number 3 Iowa 76-68 on the women's side of college basketball. That's it for the news. Let's get into this episode. We're going to start with NCAA men's, couple games. St. Peter's over Purdue 67-64. Kansas takes care of Providence 66-61. UNC over UCLA 73-66, and the Miami Hurricanes over Iowa State 70-56. Both Iowa State teams got handled this Friday. Moving on to the women's side. South Carolina over UNC, as we talked about in the beginning, 69-61. Texas over Ohio State, 66-63. Creighton over Iowa State, 76-68. And Stanford takes care of Maryland, 72-66. And we will be back with more college basketball scores tomorrow in episode 302. Make sure you pay attention. NBA time, guys. Charlotte over Utah, 107-101. Washington over Detroit, 100-97. Atlanta over Golden State, 121-110. The Knicks over the Heat, 111-103. Houston takes care of Portland, 125-106. Philly takes care of the Clippers, 122-97. The Clippers suck. And that's it for NBA. Moving on to the NHL. Washington beat Buffalo in the final in overtime with shootouts, 4-3. Rangers all over Pittsburgh, 5-1. Winnipeg won in a shootout against the Columbus Blue Jackets, 4-3. Colorado over Philly 6-3, and Calgary beats Arizona 4-2. And that's it for the NHL. Moving on swiftly to the MLB. Atlanta over Boston 6-3. Phillies over the Yanks 6-5. Pittsburgh beats Minnesota 2-1. Texas takes care of Kansas City 8-4. San Diego ties with the Dodgers 5-5, and Seattle over the White Sox 3-0. And that's it for your professional and college sports. Finally, let's close out the show with Western Mass Sports. Cytex Corey Durant, no relation to KD, had a great game. 23 points in the Western Mass All-Star Class A and Class B. They were the black jerseys. Game yesterday at the Basketball Hall of Fame. His team won yesterday 85-84. This is the second award of this year for him. His senior also garnered the Hoop Hall Classic MVP when him and his teammates upset Paulo Freire 68-59. Bay State Academy's Travis Jordan was balling in the Class C and D All-Star game. He finished with 31 points. MVP honors, and his team won 90-75 with a little help from his All-Star bound teammates in Deion Bird Jr. and Rodney Mayfield Jr. These boys are seniors and will be moving on to terrorize the NCAA next year with many points, dunks, three-point shots. You know Travis Jordan's a fucking beast, and all he's going to do is go off. The team was coached by the great Deion Bird Sr., who let us know this game was his last and has officially stepped down as Bay State Academy Bulls head coach. Deion won over 100 games in his coaching career and was the reason why the school's basketball program had been successfully resuscitated and had made it into the postseason, as well as last year and any of the other coaching teams in which he's been a part of. They were successful, winning programs. We love you, Coach Bird. Farewell. Farewell to Deion Bird Jr. as well. Tampa Bay University is looking forward to having you. And I know Coach is ready to move down south and enjoy the second half of his life. And that's it. That's all we have today for episode 301 of 413 Sports Talk. I'm Raheem Escalay. 47 subscribers on YouTube. No AK. We're going to try to build that number. We want to try to build that number on Facebook as well. Thank you for everybody who supports the show with likes, following the episodes, the interviews. We thank you for your continued support, and we will give you great content for you to keep continuing to support. And also, we have help from our student athletes here in Western Massachusetts. Love you all. Wish you nothing but health, wealth, and success. And I hope that you have a great Saturday.